Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a Walking Dead video for today. We've got some early reviews. These are non-spoilers, so don't worry, because of course the episode hasn't been released yet. For episode 100, or the Walking Dead Season 8's premiere, episode 1, Mercy. And I'll put the link in the description so you guys can go ahead and check this one out. This one is from Forbes.com, contributor Eric Kane. So it says, The Walking Dead, spoiler-free review, Season 8 premiere is a total mess. So I do like his reviews. Sometimes I see them on Forbes. They're pretty highly listed on Google, so when I'm just browsing around for Walking Dead stuff, I do see them quite a bit. He does a lot for Fear the Walking Dead as well, too, and he gets into that a little bit here later on, that he actually does like Fear the Walking Dead Season 3, which, you know, pretty much everybody who's given it a chance, I think, basically likes Fear the Walking Dead Season 3 at this point. So it says, with every new season of The Walking Dead, I hope to the television gods that the show's producers and writers will have learned some lessons from their past mistakes. Sometimes they seem to, but more often than not, just the opposite appears to be true. With Season 7, all of the show's worst habits became more entrenched than ever before, and heaps of new problems dragged down AMC's flagging flagship zombie drama. These problems include a villain whose overbearing personality sucked much of the oxygen from the room, the death of one of the show's best characters, and surprisingly cheap special effects for a show that up to this point had always been remarkably deft in that department. Whatever else you could say about The Walking Dead, its effects were always unimpeachable until Season 7. Meanwhile, the ever-expanding world of The Walking Dead ballooned far too quickly. Audiences were bombarded with new communities like the Kingdom and its Shakespearean king, and the glaringly implausible trash people with their phony pidgin dialect. And he says, so as the 7th season closed out with an actually decent finale, my annual hope kindled anew. Would Season 8 bring the show back to its former glory? Would the malaise of the previous season wash away and leave us with something more palatable and exciting? Early reports seem to suggest that maybe, just maybe, showrunner Scott Gimple had been paying attention to The Walking Dead detractors, and he says, like me, or at least had been spooked by plummeting ratings. Gimple has indicated that Season 8 will deal with multiple characters' storylines each episode rather than follow just one or two at a time. So let's stop there for a second, because I do think when we watched the Walking Dead preview special that they did, which wasn't much this year, it was just JDM, of course, who plays Negan, Morgan, James, and then there was Scott Gimple was there too. He did say that they were changing some things. They weren't going to be bottling off episodes so much and stuff like that. So it does seem to me like they are listening to feedback. You know, at least that's my opinion of it, is that, you know, when we have a complaint or we have something that we bring up, they usually tend to be pretty open to it, and they usually tend to adjust, pivot what they're doing, and kind of, you know, go towards that. People hated the bottle episodes, so he said that this season they're not really doing those. So, yeah, I mean, you know, I personally like to see, you know, different storylines happening at once and progressing as we go through the episodes. So let's let him continue here before we give more thoughts. There's something many fans and critics, including yours truly, have been asking for. Or that's something that many fans and critics have been asking for. But while it might be a good sign on its face, given the size of the show's increasingly unwieldy cast, it could just as easily be a recipe for disaster. Gone are the days of a scrappy band of survivors. Now we have half a dozen sprawling communities and dozens of cast members to keep track of. Now the first reviews of The Walking Dead Season 8 premiere are trickling online as the 100th episode embargo lifts. While the episode won't launch until later this month, critics have already had a chance to watch it. I'm so jealous myself, right? I know you guys are too. I haven't seen it, right? So just to be clear on that one, I haven't seen it yet. I watch it with you guys, right? Same time. I don't get any special treatment or anything. And some are saying it's a return to the show's former glory. Then he says, "Not so fast." I watched the episode. Alas, once again, the show's creators have failed to learn from past mistakes, failed to make significant improvements to the increasingly sloppy writing and plotting, and continue to treat the show's viewers as though we're stupid. It doesn't sound good, right? Far from a return to the glory days, the Season 8 premiere is jarring, confusing mess of an episode, in turns pretentious and mind-bogglingly nonsensical. This does not sound good at all. I won't spoil any of the specifics in this preview. A full recap review will land right after the episode airs on Sunday, October 22nd, so read on without fear of spoilers. Every now and then The Walking Dead puts on its art house hat, and I feel personally, I'm going to stop there, I feel personally like that happens when Greg Nicotero starts directing episodes, because he does some things here and there that are artistic and are personally, I kind of like, it adds a little bit more to it than what you would normally just get with kind of a, typical horror zombie apocalypse type thing. Then he says, and tries to act a great deal smarter than it actually is. Episode 100, titled Mercy, is one such episode. It eschews basic chronological storytelling on multiple levels. So it sounds like the confirmation here that we're going to be getting, events out of chronological order, like the Rick waking up scene, stuff like that. So that'll probably be somewhere near the beginning, like a lot of us thought. This just kind of adds to it. I mean, it's possible it might not be, but it sounds like they're kind of mixing in, sequences out of order. Then it says, dancing between at least 3 separate time periods, though it's not clear whether one of these is real or hallucinatory. And he has done that before. One season, was it season 6's premiere? I think he used grayscale or black and white to show some of the sequences, like a then and now type of thing, because in season 5's premiere it was a little bit confusing. People got a little bit confused. So that's one thing sometimes Greg goes a little bit overboard with. But lately it's been okay. But we'll see with this episode. He's saying that it doesn't work so well in this episode. Then it says, and models up the present timeline for no apparent reason other than to confuse audiences and create artificial tension. To make matters worse, it succumbs to that most loathsome television habit, making characters do really dumb things in service of the plot. This happens more than once, and it happens in ways that it happened before many times in Season 7. What ought to have been something of a glorious return to its to form in the show's 100th episode comes across as muddling, confused mess. All the big problems we've seen before, and they make forgiving the smaller problems much harder. Trigger happy, and then it says here, we spend much of last season searching for guns and then foolishly handing them over to questionable allies, but what the show never really touches on was the acquisition of a resource that is just as precious, if not more so, which is the bullets. The season 7 finale ended in a veritable hailstorm of bullets as each side emptied clip after never-ending clip into the other. Well, season 8 picks up with equally wasteful unloading of ammunition. Where is the infinite supply of ammo coming from? So that's a good question he's raising. Once upon a time, there was some discussion of the skulking coward Eugene homebrewing some rounds, but that never came to fruition. So where do they come from now? The Easter Bunny, Santa Claus? It's a downward spiral with The Walking Dead, easily avoided problems that make the writing feel so lazy that I, as a viewer, can't help but feel insulted, led to a more critical viewing week after week. The annoyance burrows even deeper. I find myself irritated by even by things that I previously decided I could accept, like gasoline working perfectly fine even though the stuff goes bad after a few months. It's one of those things I can easily look past in an enjoyable zombie apocalypse show, but that starts to irritate me when everyone has a car and can go for as many long drives as they please. The fear is gone, the scavenging is gone. Now we have a poorly conceived feudal system of constant war and very little politics. The Walking Dead hasn't just lost its sense of being a gritty zombie survival show, it's also lost what good dialogue it once had. There are scenes in the Season 8 premiere that I don't even understand. Moments of dialogue so weirdly written that it's like the writers don't even speak the same language or interact in the same human sphere as the rest of us. It's truly perplexing, and Negan, the worst offender of all, is every bit as loathsome as ever. His new low comes in the Season 8 premiere in a snippet of dialogue we saw in the season's trailer. It has to do with defecating in one's special defecation pants. Sigh. Okay, I gotta start. You're... Okay, don't mess with the shitting pants. Okay, I personally like the pants line. All right, so I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid, but I like. Yeah. Anyway, okay. All right, let's let him continue to get his thing out. Fear the Walking Dead versus The Walking Dead. He says, suffice to say, while I had hopes, even high hopes, that things would change for the better, this season I'm left feeling utterly let down after watching the season premiere. Maybe the rest of season 8 will surprise and delight, but it's not off to a good start. I'll have all of my reasons in a couple weeks when the episode airs for the unwashed masses. As a final side note, some of my hope for Season 8 stem from The Walking Dead's little brother show, Fear the Walking Dead, that wrapped up a truly terrible second season that was so bad I publicly hoped AMC would just cancel it and start over. But then Season 3 rolled around and it's been, much to my shock and happiness, far better than I could have ever hoped. I've even said I enjoy it more now than The Walking Dead, and that's the truth. I'm a few episodes behind on Fear, so he's been traveling, stuff like that, so that's cool. But long story short, he really likes what Fear the Walking Dead has been doing this season, and it sounds like he's not really liking the direction of The Walking Dead right now. So, okay, so it's cool. So it's not a good thing to hear that, he didn't like it. And so, he kind of represents Forbes, so to speak. So Forbes didn't really like it. Oh man, so that's not great. So I'm really hoping that the season premiere is great. But here's the thing, and this is kind of what I've kind of noticed recently as well too in the last year or so. The Walking Dead story is changing. It starts to change in season 6 with the larger world type of story arc, where you get into more communities, and then season 7 you lose a couple huge characters, A-listers, and then you add on some additional communities as well, so you get some more. So you kill down some, you add some more. You kill down some, you add some more. But it's actually been growing to the point where, like Fear the Walking Dead right now, the cast is really dwindling down, like to the point where it's like getting scary how small the number of mainstay characters we actually have are in Fear. Whereas with The Walking Dead, you have them kind of killing off, some of the longer term survivors to add on new ones, and for it to grow, become bigger and larger, and to get ready for All Out War, which is what the season is supposed to be. Seeing an actual war and a zombie apocalypse. So, it depends on kind of what your taste is. The Walking Dead, of course, the first, maybe 5 full seasons, or you'd say like 6 seasons, or 5, and then the first half of season 6 with a couple episodes there. Survival horror pretty much 100%, right? The zombies are a threat, then you have characters like the governor and that, and survival. Fear the Walking Dead is still in that place right now where it's survival horror. That's the genre. You don't have much with politics, with bigger groups. You don't have much with action, like in that type of sense, where you have groups fighting against each other, guns firing, and tanks and things like this. Right. Personally, I think that The Walking Dead does kind of have to do that, though. I don't think you can have it at 16 episodes a season. I don't think you can keep doing the small group survival horror thing forever, Eventually, you're going to kill off all the characters. Eventually, people are going to get tired of seeing the same kind of thing. So the fact that they're kind of increasing the size of the world, having things kind of build up, have the different groups, and having kind of this, zombie apocalypse, tribal warfare between the groups, personally, I think is necessary. You can't just keep doing, the same amount of zombies are not as scary, now as they would have been in season 2. When the farm gets overrun in season 2, there's a good chunk of zombies. But after we see seasons like season 6, where you see like 30,000 plus zombies or whatever that was supposed to be, a small amount of zombies now, it doesn't really scare the viewer anymore. So they have to kind of mix it up. They have to change it. They have to bring in an awesome villain like Negan, who personally I love, but if you don't read the comics, you might not love Negan. So I don't know, man. It's you know, to each their own. He doesn't like all the bullet spray everywhere and kind of the action in the premiere and that. Of course, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not going to defend it or disagree with him, because we'll have to wait until we actually see the episode to give our thoughts. But that's what I want. You know, I want to see all out war. I want to see bullets everywhere, explosions, zombies like crazy. You know, in terms of where they got the bullets from right now, I don't care. I just want to see all out war. I want to see all the explosions. I want to see all that action stuff that all out war is supposed to be, based on the the story arc from the comics. This was supposed to be. I do definitely see his point here, though, too, as well, that maybe some of the things in The Walking Dead don't make sense, like gasoline still working after a few years into the zombie apocalypse. Things like this. You can get real technical if you want. You could have nuclear meltdowns and stuff like that if you really want to in an apocalypse, which would probably happen in a lot of areas, especially highly populated areas. But I mean, personally for me, it sounds like this is a lot what I personally want to see, which is fun stuff from Negan. Yes, shitting pants lines and crazy lines like that. Him, being as charismatic and, loudmouth as always. That's what I want to see. And then on the other side, Rick and the others coming after him with a whole bunch of, weaponry and, vehicles and what have you, zombies, whatever. And lots of fighting. I'll be a happy camper. That's what I want. Maybe I'm too easy to please. I don't know. Maybe that's me. But the thing is if you want to see a new story like that, you can watch Fear, where you see the straight up survival horror 100%. If The Walking Dead, I feel like has done that for so long, they have to, by necessity, mix it up, add on new characters, have some of these older characters killed off. You can't just do the same thing over and over again forever, and it won't work the same way as it used to work with just having zombies as the only threat, or this kind of deal, or having smaller groups. It's good to kind of add to it, make it bigger, and I think build out the universe, even beyond Rick to Maggie and to some of these other characters. It's going to be necessary if you want the show to last a long time, I think, personally. So it is a cool article. You guys can definitely check it out for yourselves, and kind of just give your thoughts, in the comments below, because I want to see what you guys think. How do you feel about this kind of coming as the first review? Not a good review from him, but from Forbes, really. But personally, I mean, I'm still excited for it. I can't wait to watch episode 100, and I feel like some of the complaints he has are kind of like stuff that I feel like we should have that in All Out War. And I definitely won't be complaining. Enough bullets is like, I don't care how many bullets they waste. I want them to waste as many as possible, because that's being faithful to the original story, which is probably my two favorite trades volumes of comic books ever. So anyway, can't wait to see the premiere. Still, it doesn't kill it for just because he's giving it a bad review, it doesn't kill the premiere for me. I still want to see it. I'm still really excited to see it, and I still have high hopes. I do. So you guys can write your comments below. Let me know what you think about all this. Maybe some things about the show that you've been having problems with, and just what you think overall. If you like this video, please don't forget to thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite. And I'll be back again tomorrow, of course, with a Fear the Walking Dead video for you guys. This is for this one. See you guys tomorrow. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon. Well, I hope you're wearing your subscribing pants.
What?
Your subscribing pants. Because you're going to subscribe to this channel wearing those pants.